Hello everybody, we're back. Here we are.
No.
Welcome to... Welcome to Rosemary Cooking at Home. Sorry, do you know, I have just pinched a cashew nut. Thing is, they're dangerous to have in front of me, really dangerous. Now look, welcome everybody to my kitchen and to Rosemary at Home. And this is what we're going to call it because it's a really lovely thing, because that's what it is. We're cooking, you're cooking with me. Now, today we're going to be making a lovely Thai green curry. Now, what I've done is, I've done a load of spice, but you're not going to use it all. So we're just going to keep it in a Tupperware so you can do it again. It'll all be done and ready to go. Now, what I'd like to do is, first of all, go through everything with you, just to check that you have everything, all right? So, first of all, chopping board, obviously. You'll need a knife. And it's quite useful having a knife sharpener. I've got tongs, or you can use a fork for taking the chicken out, turning it over. You've got a spoon for mixing and doing all your gummings. A bowl for mixing the chicken thighs in, that we're going to be doing with the spice and some oil. I've got my lovely rapeseed oil, which I adore. So, I've got a nice dish for doing my chicken in, a Thai chicken in. You can use a sauteing pan, a frying pan, you can use anything. You don't have to use that. What I'm actually going to be doing, I'm going to be doing this dish as if you're going to have it at home, but I'm going to show you how to elevate it for a restaurant, and I think that'll be right at the end. You can do it if you want, but I haven't given you the ingredients because everybody says I do too many ingredients. They're probably right, but it doesn't matter. Now, you've got a pan out for your rice. You've got your lovely cardamom seeds, which I'll show you how to take out in a minute. You've got your cloves, you've got your caraway seeds, the rice. Now, I've used basmati rice. The reason why, rather than Thai rice, first of all, it's quicker. You have to soak the other one for an hour. And I thought I'd just make it really easy. It'll taste just as good. The way I'm going to show you how to do it is actually will make it work and make it nice and fluffy. Now, you've got your obviously main ingredients. Here we go. We've got our lovely coconut milk, which of course is a must. I've added, this was not on the list, but it doesn't matter. I've added a little bit of coconut cream just to make it a bit richer if you want to. But the actual tin, the thing is, my recipe had 450. Unfortunately, it's a 400-gram tin. Doesn't matter. 50 grams, as I said, I'll thicken it with that. Otherwise, just reduce it a bit more. Now, the inevitable lime in the Thai. You've got the lemongrass, which people, I think, had a bit tricky time to actually get that. But actually, it's quite simple once you know where to go. Your lovely green chili, your lovely lime leaves, kaffir leaves. Now, if you haven't got kaffir leaves, don't worry, just use a bit of thyme, so that's all fine, the skin of the thyme. And you obviously, the delicious cashew nuts. You can use peanuts if you can't get cashew nuts, because they are quite expensive, I have to tell you. So if you can adapt it and put salted peanuts in there, just as good. Now, and you've obviously got the chicken stock. I've diluted it rather than making it just with the coconut. I think it's quite nice to make it a little bit thinner, the sauce, rather than too thick. Garlic. Now, the other thing is, I know, again, this was not, you can use a bit of sugar, but sometimes for seasoning, I use a little bit of honey, lemon or sugar, whatever I can get, just to bring it up. I've got a little bit of honey here, but you can just use a bit of sugar if it does need it at the end. So basically, that's what I've got, and that's what you should have. And I've obviously got my thighs. Now, these thighs do have the bone in. Now, the reason I use thighs is because I think they're the tastiest part of the chicken. And not only that, if you can imagine, they do a lot of work. And that's what it's all about. So they have to work. So it's better to use that. You can do breasts. Breasts are fine, but breasts need very little cooking compared to the thighs. They do tend to sometimes dry out a little bit, breast, whereas the thighs keep nice and sort of soft and juicy. So, first of all, does anybody need a bit of time? Do send a message if you haven't got all the bits. just send a message to say we'll just stop for 30 seconds just while you finish. Have we got any messages yet?
We're good.
We're all good to go. Okay, well, let's go. Let's start this dish. Now, first thing you're going to do is put your pan on. Put it on a low heat. You don't need the oil in yet. It's fine to put a dry pan on there. It's absolutely fine. We're now going to take an onion. Some of you probably have cut the onion, but this is how I do an onion. I cut it in half. I then remove the top, and by using the top, just like that, it comes off in one piece. There we are. All very simple. Again, we'll do it to the other side. Just makes life a little bit easier. Now, I like to see the onion in all this sort of cooking. I don't like to have it sort of diced. It's so boring. So I like to, there you are, just get it on. So we're going to do nice little bits. Now, when you cut, it's very important, you're doing it against your knuckles. So basically, your knuckles are judging the amount of how you cut it. All right, I'm going slowly so you can see. There we go, perfect. Now we're going to do this. So do tell me to stop if I'm going too fast. There we are, keep going. So we'll slow up any time you like. All right, right, there we are. Now for this, we're going to take our rapeseed oil. I love rapeseed oil. The reason why I love rapeseed oil is because it burns at a really good temperature, and consequently, whereas olive oil tends to burn quicker, and then sunflower oil, it burns the highest, but it doesn't matter because this is just perfect. And also, it's local, you're supporting British, you're doing all that, although we're doing a Thai meal, not exactly British, but do you know what? We love to mix and match, don't we? So we're going to do all this. So we're just going to, right, while this is cooking off, just leave that for a minute. There we are, well, let's just, right. Now I'm moving on for a moment. We now need to mix all our spice, our herbs. Now, once you've done this, find a little pot to keep them in, so you've actually got some already done, because you won't have to do it again. So what, I'm telling everybody, shush. So what I'm going to be doing is doing the nutmeg, the coriander, the turmeric, all that, and taking it all in. Now, chili. Oh, I got it over my board. Don't worry. There we are, put it all out. Right, it's all right, I'll just do this. Don't worry, we can do it. You're at home, things like that don't really matter. Now, when it comes to your cardamoms, we only use the seeds. Okay, so I'm just going to move those out of the way. Okay. So what we do is with the seeds, all you do is take a rolling pin, back of a rolling pin, or that's part of my pestle and mortar. I'm just going to do that. And the seeds will come out. And that's how you do it. There we are. The pods themselves will remove themselves by doing this. There we are. So you just take the pods out, take them all off, that's it. I had to do this in front of you because if I didn't, you'd say, how do you do that? So I think it's good to see. Right, there we go. Lovely seeds. Onion's doing well. This is doing well. Right. We're now going to, oh, the smell. I have to tell you, if you're getting the smell like me, genuinely, the smell is absolutely gorgeous. Now I'm just going to crush those a little bit more. There we go. Okay, I've just been told to slow down. Okay, so okay, shh, no talking. Do you know, it's terrible because what happens to me is I can't take talking when I'm working because I'm so focused. It stresses me. So I'm all right though. I'm all right today. So now mix this little bit up. So I like to be really focused on what I'm doing. Now, the smell is wonderful. Seriously. That's a lovely bit. Now we're going to use a tablespoon and a half of this. There we go. Just going to mix this onion up a bit. Looking good. It's looking perfect. Pick up a little bit more. Now, what I'm going to do, we need to now rub that chicken. So I'm going to take some oil, put some oil into a bowl like that. I'm now going to take about 1, 2, and 3 for luck. Right, that'll be enough. I'm now going to mix this up. Really mix it up. There we go. Right, we're now going to take our chicken, put that on there. And before I do the chicken, I'm just going to remove this onion. I don't know if you can see it, but it's just softened slightly. I'm now going to put it on here. I love that colour. I absolutely love that colour. There you go. Really perfect. Okay, there we go. All out. Now, perfect. At this point, I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn that up a little bit more. The reason I've turned the cooker, so I'm going to cook this chicken, but I'm going to put it, as I roll it in here, I'm going to put it down, skin side down. So, 1. Bring this nearer to me, I think. Now, the other thing is I've had this in room temperature. Rather than having it incredibly cold, it is better to have it in room temperature. Now, I want to tell you a little tip. I actually made, as I said to you before, I did ground spices. Now, the thing about these ground spices is you can use whole spice. I normally use whole spice, like whole cumin, whole cumin seeds, whole coriander seeds. And what I do, I cook them so they start popping in a dry pan. Now that's when you get the best flavour. Tonight, I didn't think it was worth doing because I felt that I wasn't depriving you of anything. I promise you, I'm not depriving you. I'm just telling you, I tried to make it as easy as possible tonight. So you could all do it. But, there we go. Just do this. But I do think that you've,
We have a question from Tanya, Rosemary.
Yeah, what does Tanya say?
What do we mix with the spice?
You mix sunflower seed oil or olive oil, anything you like. Oh, sorry, hi Tanya. You mix some oil with it just to make it so it's absolutely, so you rub it. I'll put a tiny bit more in because I'll tell you about these. These are huge chicken thighs, massive. So what you do is you mix the spice with the oil. Okay, now I'm going to pop it on here.
Rosemary,
Yes.
someone that's cooking along with this building, you got cut off, so she's just asking, can you just recap on what you do with the spices once they're mixed?
Okay, no problems at all. Once the spices are mixed, you put them you take a big bowl, and you add some olive oil and about 2 tablespoons of spices that you've mixed, and then you're going to fry them. So that's how you do it. Okay, now I've put them in there. My hands have turned a little bit yellow because it had the turmeric in there. It's terrible. It actually does. That turmeric actually really does I'm turning it up. Now, the trick is, what is important here is that the thighs, because I've put them in quite close together, so they might braise, I can stop that. By stopping them from braising, what we're going to do is just leave it. And I do that by listening to it. So it means that I've literally, it's caramelized slightly on the skin. And that's what I'm basically after. So we can't do an awful lot just until this is brown. So now, when I was in Thailand, I had the most incredible time going to the markets, having the most wonderful fish, eating the most fabulous mozzaman pie, which I ended up cooking. They didn't actually show it, but I ended up making these mozzaman pies. They are absolutely yummy. What you can do with this, you can actually take this and you can make little individual samosas, take the meat off, get all the stuff going in and do the samosas. Absolutely delicious. Now, what we're going to do is we're moving on. I'm not touching it. We're moving on and I'm going to prepare the chopping of my lemongrass, my green chili, which isn't quite as hot, but it's all cool. My capital leaves, which are just here, which are lime leaves. As I said, if you couldn't find them, don't worry. Just use the peel of lime, anything like that. So I'm just going to, must turn that up even more, right. Really have it so it's browning. Now, so what I want with this, you don't need to take the pips off this. No, it's not necessary. So literally, well, I might as well do it that way. Now, again, can I just show you? If you take your hand, you've got a knife against the knuckle here. What you can do is just take it in. So I actually don't even have to look because I know my knuckle is doing the walking. Okay? So I can work it. But please don't you do what I've just done because it's not really a clever thing to do until you're used to it. Now, I don't know about you, but I like green chili. So it's absolutely lovely. And also, I like the fact it's round, it's pieces, it's all part of the decoration. It's all part of the whole thing. There we go. Keep going. I tell you, I don't know about you guys, but I'm getting some brilliant smells here. Really, really, really good smells. I bought one of those hats. When I went to Thailand, I got one of those hats. You saw them all in the fields picking everything. They were all there, the farmers, that's all they wore. So I've actually got one. It's so cool. Now, lemongrass. What do you do with it? You can't. Smells wonderful because you can't really smell anything. I'm going to tell you to smell it in a minute. We're going to bash it. It's the only way to do it. Bash, 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 bash. Now, smell it. Oh my goodness. That is amazing. I wish we had television, smell-o-vision. Oh, it's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Right, go. Now, people normally use one, but I use two because I love it. Right, okay, so there's my Thai little things. You know, typical Thai, lemongrass, chili, it's all there. Now, let's look at the outside. Let's look at this. Ah, ha, 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 ha. So, there we are. It's nicely browned now. There we are. Perfect. Turn it over. Now, I'm just going to now show you. Leave it there for a little bit longer. Okay. How's everybody getting on now? Tell me. Would anyone like to tell me how you're getting on? Are you with me? Are you still with me? I hope so. Because I'm taking it very slowly. Because you know what normally happens to me. I go far too fast and people say, stop, slow down. So this time I'm doing it very slowly. I'm actually going to wait for the chicken to be done. Just for a minute. Now, and then as soon as those are crisped up, I'm going to just remove them for a minute while I add all the other ingredients. And then we'll put everything back. And then we'll just cook it. We'll put this. Right, we've got to do the garlic too now. Right, to do a garlic, you cut both ends, one, then you cut another end, both ends. Now, by releasing the root and everything, once you release the root, you go, and it comes off. Just comes off, because it has to, because there's nothing keeping the skin on, okay? So that's it. So that's bushed. It's easy. So, once you've done that, it's all very cool. Is everybody fine? Tell me to please recap, tell me. Right, so what we've done so far, we have cooked the chicken, we've put the spices all over the chicken. We've softened the onion off a little bit, not completely, but we've softened to the extent they needed to be softened. We prepared our vegetables, we prepared our herbs, lemongrass, we prepared our green chili, we prepared our chili, our lovely garlic, which is going to be rough. You don't want to cut it finely. Okay, right, we just went off for a second. Right, so then we've done the garlic. Right, now, so that's all rough. I've got the kaffir lime leaves, as I said, if those haven't got it, don't worry, I'm going to show you. I get a potato peeler, and I peel the lime, there, we'll do half a lime, and that's just as good, all right? I mean, obviously, but you can get kaffir and it keeps for a long time in your store cupboard. Because although this is not store cupboard stuff, these sort of things are, which is great. Now, what I'd like to do is now remove this chicken. I shall just put it on top of this. Big beast, this will feed a lot of people, you know. Big beast. Huge. There's so much flavour in these delicious little morsels, really. I'm just going to do that because it's not quite, look, it's a bit there. I'm just going to do that. Just be patient. I might actually just put that little bit in there. Just for a second. Be patient. Is everybody cooking where I am?
Well, Brian is looking for slow down.
Okay, I'll slow down because I'm just cooking. I'm cooking a little bit of the skin of the chicken now, so I'm slow down. Okay, Brian, I've slowed down a little bit. There we go. Now, also, what's happened is that the flavour, all those spices, the smell in this kitchen, your kitchen should be really good. There we are. Your kitchen should be really good as well as mine. Right, now, what I'm going to do, okay, I'm carrying on. You may have to, but I will slow this down a bit. I'm just going to pop it in. I'm putting all the chili, all the bits, what I call the sort of spicy little bits. And I'm just going to mix them up. What that's doing is it's bringing all the flavour up, bringing all the flavour in. That's all right. I'm just going to do this. I'm now going to just put this in. I'm not going to go any further, so we'll just sit. There we go. I'm now going to put in, and I promise you, I'm not going to put the chicken in until everybody has done this. I promise. But I'm just going to get this done. And then I will wait. There we are. There's the creamy. Now I'm going to put a bit of the cream in too. Now, they mostly, in Thailand, cream is much more popular than actually the tins, because you can keep it, take as much as you want. I should put it all in actually. There we are, and just melt it up. Lovely creamy stuff. There we are. There we are, that's fine. It's so good and it's more useful, far more useful than the tins themselves. Now, there we are. And if you haven't got the stock, don't worry, just use water. It doesn't, you know, the wonderful thing about cooking is it doesn't matter. I'm also going to put in the honey that's not in the recipe. So I'm going to put in a little bit of sugar, and I thought honey is more healthy and better for you. Just to, here we are. I found this little jar. I thought it was a bit diddy in the bottom of my drawer. Yeah, I thought it was a bit diddy. That's it. Okay.
Mum, can you say again, please, what goes in the pan once the chicken comes out?
Right, okay.
Katie was asking.
Right, okay, so what goes into the pan? So, in the pan has gone lemongrass, capita, the chicken stock, the coconut cream that I used, which was extra, the coconut milk, and also the stock, the chili, and the garlic. And I'm literally just bringing it up. Before I put the chicken in, I'm just going to bring that up to the boil, okay? So, I'm not going to put the chicken in until you're all ready. So can I have thumbs up from everybody that you're all ready for the next stage? Silence, I love that. I love that. Do you know? Oh no, that was Vietnam. I'm getting it all confused. Climbing up that mountain. Yes, I'm getting it very confused.
Rosemary,
Yes?
do a recap right from the start.
Yeah, we'll do. Okay. Now, what I'd like to do is just tell you what I've done. We'll just go through it. I cooked off the onion, sliced the onion, cooked it off. Then I just softened it for a while, but not softened it was incredibly soft. It was just softened enough just to sort of get the flavour in the onion. Then I turned the heat up, and then I put in the chicken. So I fried the caramelised chicken on all sides, and then once they were done, once we had achieved that side, we then put it into the bowl. Then I cut up and prepared all the spices and what I call herbs. So you've got the lemongrass I bashed, you've got the chili I cut, you've got the garlic I cut, all the little bits, and the kaffir leaves I popped in. So all that's gone in. Everything's gone in. Now I've just brought it to the boil. I put in an extra little of the coconut cream, just to give it a little bit of extra creaminess to it. There we go. It's made it a little bit whiter, actually.
You've added the onion back in now, haven't
Not
you?
yet. No, I haven't added anything. I've only put the spices in there. So what's happening is the spices are creating and getting into the flavour. I am now going to put everything back. I'm hoping that your spices are done. I'm actually going to put in some bits of coriander. Whole. I'm going to bung that in like that. Keep that there. I'm now going to take some lemon peel. I said zest in the recipe, but actually lemon peel is fine. I love to have some lemon peel, looking at that, on my dish. It says actually also on the recipe, it says half a lemon. But you know what? Doing a whole lemon because I can. So, here we go, in we go. Now the colour is looking absolutely fabulous for a start. Lovely green. So now, all being well, you are where I am, and we are now going to put in the chicken, okay? So, in we go. Now this has got to be cooked off for about 25 minutes. Now because they're on the bone, they'll take a little bit longer to cook. Also they're huge, they may even just take 30 minutes, so we'll see.
One question is going, when do you start tasting the seasoning?
We don't need to taste anything till it's cooked. And then we'll taste the seasoning afterwards, because we've done there we go. Now I've left behind that oil. Now what's going to happen, I'm going to just leave it on the stove there. Put this here. Now, the reason I don't want to put a lid on is because I want to reduce the sauce. Because this is not a saucy dish. This is a dish that it actually reduces down, and you should have half the amount of the sauce in there. that's there. So what it'll be doing, it'll be evaporating, and that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for that evaporation. Finally, I'm going to put in the cashew. Now, that's a little bit more than I needed, but of course you all know I like cashews. Love it. Or peanuts, or whatever you fancy. And they need to be salted, because that's important too. I know that's a lot, everybody, but you know what? I love it. And there's your dish. Now I shall keep that absolutely going, like that, and I'm going to put it on the back one. There we are. I'm going to put it on the back one. So what I'm going to do here, so you can see what's happening. There we go. And on this one, I'm going to be cooking the rice. Now, put on a low heat. Okay, right. I hope that the chicken is cooking in all those flavors. I'm actually going to add a little bit of salt to it now. I'm going to add a little coarse sea salt. Here we are. Perfect. And a little bit of pepper. Actually, I don't want to add the pepper, so I don't want to see those pepper bits. Sometimes, let me tell you about pepper. Pepper is a spice, and pepper can be actually overdone. It can be used at the wrong thing. Sometimes pepper isn't necessary. And also, for instance, I'll give you an example, mashed potato. I don't like that little bits of pepper, unless I want it to be a peppery mashed potato. Otherwise, I don't want to see those coarse bits of pepper throughout. So I choose very carefully what I use my pepper. You always should use pepper like you're using coriander or any other spice. It's a spice. It's not, and everybody tends to make it pepper and salt. Although I put it in there, what I would actually do is use white pepper rather than black pepper. But I know I didn't say that. I'm just going to turn this down a bit. There we go. I've turned this down now to simmer. So, we are now going to move on. So I'm going to give you time to clear away. So you clear away while I'm clearing away. So clear everything away. There you go. Okay. Now, everybody all right? Is everybody okay? I can hear people. Is everybody okay? I don't want to hear anybody. Is everybody okay? Good. I don't want to hear anybody. Right.
What heat is the hot?
It's on a good question. It's on a medium heat.
That was from Tom.
That was from Tom. Tom, good question. Medium heat. Well done. Yeah, very good question. Okay, so I've got all my spice here, and I can keep the rest of that for later, another time. I can put it on a bit of barbecue or something like that. So I'll pop that there. So here we go. Oh, put this in front. My rice. Now, I know I've got it soaked in the recipe, but I'm not going to. But those who have, great. Right, my lovely cardamom, my lovely caraway, my lovely cloves. Now, cloves, it's a really interesting one because they put all these sort of things. It's very sort of quite mixed, sort of curryish. It's like they do curry and they do spicy. It's a mixed food culture. And I just wonderful, loved it. A lot of wonderful fish there too. So what we're going to do, I'm going to give you a little trick of how to cook rice. So we're going to, first of all, I've put my pan on. Will you put your dry pan on now? If you could, put your dry pan on that you're going to cook the rice in. Also, that pan, it's really important, you really need a lid. This is imperative. Okay, you need a lid. So get that, I'm just going to turn this on actually, yeah, something else. Right, get the lid ready, get everything ready, okay? Are you all happy for me to carry on now? Is it thumbs up? Will you do thumbs up, guys? Okay, we're actually now going to put in this lovely cardamom seeds. The smell, will you just smell it for me? It is absolutely beautiful. One of my favorite things to do, cardamom ice cream. I love cardamom ice cream. So I'm going to pop this in the pan. Because if you noticed, these spices, they're whole. Now what I'm looking for is pop. I want them to pop. Now you could have done this with your first session, but because we wanted speed, we didn't do that. So, caraway seeds. I love caraway bread too. Oh, delicious. Pop that in. Cloves.
How much water would you put in?
I'm going to tell you in a minute. Cloves. I'll tell you guys in a minute. Reason why, because you almost don't have to have a quantity. I've got a quantity, 450 in your recipe, but I'd rather not you going by that, because I want you to see every time. You will never have to look at a recipe ever again, and you'll love me for it. I hope you will anyway. Right, we're going to put the spices on. Now, I've got bay leaves here. I love bays. Now with bay leaves, it's really interesting. I want you at home to take your bay leaf, and those you can screw them up like this, really screw them. And then I want you to smell it, please. Just smell it. Now, by screwing them up, what you're doing is you're getting the oil from them. And what it will do, it will create yet another dimension of flavour. It's really important that. So we're going to bung those in. So we're going to pop this on, and we're going to start heating it up. Now, if you come in here, so we're going to do this. Okay, so here they are. Here are my spices. So we're going to turn this up, and I'm going to turn it up quite high. It won't burn them, we'll be all right. It won't burn them. So, there we go. Isn't this pan? This pan's lovely. It's actually a tomato. It's from Stobe. I love it, absolutely love it. Now, can I just tell you what's happening? In this dry pan here, oh my gosh, the flavours. Now, smell it. Get in there and smell it. It's so good. It doesn't quite go for Christmas, but it's just really spicy. It's lovely. There we are. Oh, I could dive into that. Now, rice. At this point, we're just going to add the rice. Oh, go here. At this point, you have to get used to all this. At this point, you're going to go for the rice. So what I'd like to do is make the rice. Now, I think I told you last week, make the rice, I don't know, a little bit nutty, but not quite as nutty. So I'm going to just pop these in. There we are. Actually, they're not popping quite yet. I can't pop them in quite yet. So, are you enjoying the smell? Will you tell me? Do you like the smell? Thumbs up. Yeah, you love the smell. Thumbs up.
John is very pleased.
Hit the share. John is very. Hit the share button. What? Share. Oh yes. I'm telling you, I forget things. I'm being prompted. I forget things. Please share this with whoever you want to share this with, because it's such fun. It's so nice. So, and please get as many as you can. Saturday night, 5 o'clock. It's Rosemary at Home. Oh, see, I said that in one. Cool. Right, okay, so we're going to do this. Now I'm going to put this in. And the smell now, I've got my head in that, I tell you. I'm now going to mix it up. So that smell, that hot, all those hot plants. Right, this is what I'm going to show you. This is important. You put this in, lever it off, pour your stock. Hang on. Pour your stock. So it's 1 centimetre above. See, I've done it so it's exactly right. That is 450. Leave it. Do not touch it. I'm now going to turn it down because it's bringing up to simmer. I'm just going to bring it up to simmer. Put the head on.
We've got Tanya asking, what did you just put in there?
I put in chicken stock. But water will do. If they haven't got chicken stock, water will do. Now, okay, we're getting there. I'm just going to look at the chicken for 1 minute. I'm just going to look at the chicken just to put a fork in it. So I'm just going to go for that. I think I'll let me get a thin knife. Can I have a thin knife here, I wonder? Yeah. Here's one. Now, when you do any meat, when you test any meat or anything like this, you can have a thermometer. Thermometer's good. Thermometer is when you know if it's 70 degrees, it's cooked. So here's my thermometer. I would advise anybody to get one. Seriously. It'll, you know, if you cooking your turkey at home or a piece of roast beef, how many times is it cooked? Not cooked. But if you put this in, so I can put this in into the chicken and I can find out whether it's done. 60, 61, 62, 69, 70. So it's cooked, isn't it? Now, I know if you want me to do it again, okay. So here we are, 65, 69, 70. Okay, did you get that? Right, so that knows that the chicken is done. Or, if you haven't got one of those, just put this on, and if it comes out easily, you know it's done. Right, at that point, what I'd like to do is take this, and I would like to remove the chicken out. Where did I put my, I put so many things away. I'm going to take the chicken out for a minute, put it on here, and what I'm going to do is just reduce it on a really high heat. So then that's when you can start tasting it. It's already looking good, but I think you guys, I put some cream coconut in there, so it's thicker than yours. So I'm going to get you, there we are. So I need to just double check this, yes, and I'm going to turn it down. Now, we need to leave this rice for 10 minutes. I'm turning this high, really high, there we are. Now, yours will be a lot runnier than mine. So what I'd like you to do, I would like you to just wait till it starts to thicken off a little bit. So as soon as it starts to thicken off, you don't want it thick. You don't want a thick, you know, bechamel sauce. You want a thinnish sauce, but not as thin maybe as yours is. I don't know. It depends how much fat came out of the chicken. There'll always be water and fat coming out of the chicken, so it just depends. So let it see, judge it, but you can look at mine. You can see what mine looks like. And I'm going to put a little spoon in there. Okay. Yeah. Oh, look at that. It's perfect. Look. I'm going to just taste it now. That's perfect. I'm going to put a little bit more salt on there now. Okay. There we are. That's it. That's finished. I'm not doing any more. I'll have to get another spoon out because that is so good. Hang on. I have to do one more. I'm sorry. It's perfect. Right. Okay. God, I can't wait to eat that. Now, okay. I'm going to put this back. Now mine is perfect, but you won't be ready for yours yet. So I understand that. There we are. Just put that back. So what I'm going to do is put this on a slightly lower heat because we don't want it any more than that. So now, I said to you at the beginning, I would show you a restaurant-y thing, just to elevate it all up. And I think that's important. So you can do this at home, and this is pretty elevated already. But I will show you how to make it even more elevated. So, first of all, oh no, actually, I'm going to leave that a bit longer. We're going to make some crispy noodles. Now, I'm going to show you how to do these, okay? Now, I'm not expecting you to do these, because I didn't say as I said, but it's great if you want to do them, because you can just get some noodles out and fry them. Now, I've got the oil on. This is where it is. I'm going to get some kitchen roll out. I don't know about you guys, but the smells in this kitchen are to die for. So, good old kitchen roll. What would we do without this? I just have no idea. My life is rather like cling wrap. What would we have done without cling wrap? I mean, I did cook without cling wrap, but I'm finding it hard to know how I lived without it. It's like a mobile phone, I suppose. Right, okay, so here we go. Now, what is important, not to have this too high. So, okay. Lots of little bits, so they've got to stick together. Now, you've got to be patient. You've got to wait for it to be done to go golden, all right? Thing is, you mustn't have it too high, because if you have it too high, you're in trouble, because obviously it'll burn it, won't be as good. So you just do it. Now, the beautiful thing about this is you can do them in the afternoon if you want. If you want to add this to any salad or anything, you can just do it in the afternoon. You can do it at any time. Right, we're nearly there. Okay. Now, the reason it's fallen normally, they don't fall apart, but the reason it's falling apart is because it's my fault. I put them into my vacuum packer and basically it crushed them. But I'm going to still keep them because I'll try to work. It's my own fault for being so silly. So, okay. Patience. Look, aren't they pretty though?
What type of noodles are they?
They're just egg noodles. Singapore, these are egg noodles. These actually are fresh. Now, these are fresh noodles. Right, now I told you I was going to show you how to do a little extra to make it look a little bit better. So I'm hoping, can I ask you to do thumbs up for your, is your chicken first of all cooked? And if so, has your sauce reduced a little bit? Let's get in there. Can you please let me know? Is anybody running behind? If they are, we'll wait up till you've caught up with us. So it's not a problem. So please let us know if you're running behind because we will help you. No problem at all. Now, I always wear my whites. The reason why I wear my whites is because I feel more comfortable in my whites. I actually last wore these in America, my new series. It's coming out soon. It's very exciting. So, got to do all this. Thing is, you're always told, I'm longing to talk to people because I get too excited, and I'm longing to tell people what it is. You will know. It's being announced on the 2nd of December. Yippee. So we'll find out what it is. That's good. Right, okay. So let's get this out and show you what to do. So, I'm going to put this here. Now, how I would do this is purely by adding some fresh spinach to it. Let me just get this done. Right. Oh, I didn't quite go hard enough there. That was such a silly thing for me to do. You know, it's all very, it's very clever having all these mod cons, and they are amazing. But then I use them too much, and of course it doesn't help, does it? Right, it needs to be long pieces. Okay. So we won't do any more. There's no point in doing it anymore. Right, we'll just take this out. Let that get cold for a minute. Right, now once you've done that, I'm just going to put this here. The rice is doing beautifully. It's coming on. Take this out. Right. Now, the trick is with this, not to cook the spinach. You don't cook it. Because when you're in a restaurant, it's always important that everything should look fresh, it should be lovely. So all I'm going to do is do that. Okay? That's all I need to do. Now, as I said, I'm not expecting you lot to do this because I never said it, did I? So, you know, what it's doing is it's actually bringing it up and making it a little bit more attractive, giving it a little bit more of an edge, and making it a little bit more restaurant-y, so you think we're being very clever. How you cook things, you know, it's quite important to get the best out of a product or get the best out of an ingredient. Sometimes less is more. And how easy is that sometimes? Right. There we go. Now, to serve this, I have put this in a great big bowl. Okay. Lovely spinach is done. Soak it all up. Perfect. Right. Now, what I'm going to do is get a plate. I thought I'd put on that. I thought that would be really nice. But before we do this, that rice will be done in a minute. Has it been 10 minutes since I put the rice on, I wonder? I didn't actually judge it. I should have had a... Normally, what I do is I have a little timer here for 10 minutes. And normally, I tell how long I've had it on for. Because it's always better to have it on for... I might even just have a little look at it, actually. Oh my gosh, the smell. Right, what I'm going to do, it's nearly done. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to just, I know it's lovely and fluffy, I'm not going to put it on a plate because I have this thing. I mean, you know, I do have a few things in terms of feelings about things. Actually, I just don't like to see the rice on a plate. I like to see it in a separate bowl. So, it's one of my things. Pet hates, really, I suppose. So, what I'm going to do is, I don't want to plate this until I'm ready for the rice. So, can I just say, while everybody is finishing off, are there any questions you'd like to tell me? Also, how long have I been?
You've got another 50 minutes.
15? 50? 5 minutes left. Laura, I've got 5 minutes left. Okay, I thought you said 50 minutes.
No, you're on for 50.
Oh, I've been on for 50. I know, everybody's laughing because I said how long. Right, well, we're done. So what I'm going to do is take this. Now, we're going to put a little bit of this chicken on here. Oh my gosh, the sauce. Do you know what? We won't need to, but we'll just pop it on so it looks pretty. Okay. Now, I absolutely love all these vegetables. There we are. I love even the lemongrass. Get the lemongrass. Also the cashew nuts. Oh my gosh. Also the lemon. Everything's on there. I mean, you know, cashew nuts, lemon, you name it, it's on there. A little bit of the lemongrass on there. Everything. Yeah, everything's on there. And also, so I've elevated with that spinach. I'm also going to put in a little bit of crispiness so it looks lovely. Or you can put it on top maybe, or put it on the side, I don't know. Put it anywhere, doesn't really matter. Actually, it would be quite nice maybe just underneath, slightly underneath, so you've got the crispiness underneath. That's it. Perfect. So I'm going to just put a little bit more of this sauce. Whoopsie. Doing that. So it looks pretty for you. It looks gorgeous. I'm really pleased with that, guys. Now, I do hope you have got it looking like that, quite frankly. Now, here we are. What I'd like you to do is take a little picture of that because that's lovely. And here, now, the rice. the rice. This rice smells, looks amazing. So here we go. Look at that. Gorgeous rice. There we go. Now I'm going to put a bit of salt in there. Salt, where's my fine salt? A little bit of fine salt in there, I think, just to bring it out. And probably, you know, what would be quite nice in there? A little bit of butter even. Be lovely. But anyway, this is the lovely rice. So here we go. We've got our lovely rice. Lovely rice. Now, this is a delicious home meal. Now, it didn't take long. It was done. Please ask if there are any questions. I hope you enjoyed that. I think it's delicious. I can't wait to eat it. I really can't wait to eat it. And next week, I've decided to make you a glorious fish pie, but we're going to do it with a crusty topping. So it'll be really nice. Again, I'm going to elevate it up to make it look a little bit more exciting, but it's just a fish pie, which is delicious. So, lovely home cook. So I hope you all have a lovely supper tonight. I hope you enjoy it. And good luck. And bye for now. See you next week. Bye.